I want to talk about grief and feeling feelings and being escape artists. So I really think that I could probably be the queen of escaping. Growing up with childhood trauma and growing up with a narcissist, and she was an alcoholic. It was just my mom and I. And my feelings really didn't get considered. It was really just about, I kind of describe it like I lived in her world, and my needs, feelings, all that stuff was not taken into consideration. There were just a lot of bad programming that I picked up, so on and so forth. And recently I moved, in the last, I think it was, I don't know how many months ago, but not that long ago, I moved across the country with my fiance. We moved from Iowa to Florida, and we were living in a town of 60,000 people, and now we live in Tampa in Clearwater, and it's huge, and there's just lots more to do, lots of people, lots of traffic, all of the things, and we love it here for so many reasons. But we had where we came from, there's a really strong community. I knew a lot of people. It's a lot of change. And I realized I've been not really feeling grief. I've been really in go mode since about this time last year, because it was one thing after another that I needed to do. We had to prepare our house to get it sold. So it was all last summer we were doing that. Before that, I had all these yoga teacher training programs I was doing. My adopted brother came into my life, found me on 23andMe, my half brother. Meeting his family and him was it brought this huge wave of joy, but also a lot of pain, because it brought up a lot of old stuff with my mom once again. And so I had to go through that. And then it was uprooting myself and getting the house ready to go. And then I got engaged, and then it was more uprooting and more getting the house ready. And it's just been one thing after another since I've got here. So it's been a lot of things that have kept me busy, not having to feel. Which for an escape artist, that's lovely, right? We love that. And I think this is so common for people, because our modern society literally is set up so that we don't have to feel, right? Even TikTok, Instagram, social media, it's we can be busy 24/7 if we wanted to. So to stop and actually check in with ourselves and see what's going on, especially when you've had any kind of trauma in your life, is who's got time for that? Who even wants to go there? But I really want you to tune in on this, because I had a whole thing happen today. So I'm maybe I should pause and be with my emotions today. As somebody who actively teaches people to feel their feelings and be with their emotions. But as we say, you're always teaching what you're learning. So I'm probably going to be teaching people to feel their feelings forever, because it's still so foreign to me at times. It's hard for me. I don't think about it. It's not the thing I think about, because I grew up in a trauma kind of way where it's survival. I think about survival. What do I need to do to get my life in order? What do I need to do to set my house up, or to, set my business up here? That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about my feelings. That gets put on the back burner, right? Anytime we're in survival mode, which most of us are living in, and that's not where we want to be, by the way. So my point is, I sat with that and I was okay, what am I feeling? I think I'm feeling some grief, because I can't just hop in my car and go visit my really good friends who lived 2 hours away from me. There's just things that I can't do, right? So I sat with that, and then I checked in with my dear friend, and she's well, if you just, I was well, what am I supposed to do with this? I felt the grief. Now what? Now what do I do? And, she's just feeling the grief of now you're really sidestepping the grief of the past. And so I sat with that, and I'm like, well, what is that connected to? Oh, growing up with an unloving mom and feeling the grief. Like, and then my grandma, who was the most loving person I had growing up, she in 2021 had to go to a nursing home for dementia. So it was like that foundation was gone. And it shook me. So that's when I really had to start diving even deeper into my own depths to feel things that were there that I didn't know were there. And so I'm sharing all of this with you because it's like we think that we have to do something with the grief. Like, I have to do something with it. I have to do something with these negative feelings. Maybe it's not grief for you. Maybe it's something else. But grief comes in many different forms, right? We think that we're supposed to do something with it. Like, even me, I was like, what am I supposed to do? Now what? I felt it. I even brought up the stuff from the past. Now what? And I was reminded of this therapist that I had hired back when my grandma first went into a nursing home. And she had said, I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, does this ever go away? Growing up, with an unloving mom, the pain of that. And she's like, it's similar to people that have had the excruciating experience of losing a child. Like, that pain doesn't go away. And it's not like every day is a 10. We need to stop comparing the days. Like, this is a 10, this is a 1. What if there's just days that are a little bit harder? And like, we don't have to compare it. We don't have to judge it. We don't have to condemn it or think that there's something wrong with us. It's just maybe there's some days that are a little bit harder. And on those days, asking yourself, well, what do I need? Not because you need to do something with the feeling, but because maybe, there's a way to be with it. Like, we need to learn to be with discomfort in more ways and less running from it and ignoring it, because that's all coping mechanisms. Staying really busy so you don't have to feel is a coping mechanism. And it's gonna catch up with you eventually. Like, not feeling your feelings, stuffing them down, like so many of the clients I work with do, it eventually catches up with you, whether it's a physical issue, physical dis-ease, a mental issue, it's like, it'll catch up with you. We can't stuff that stuff. I wasn't expecting this to be this long already, but here we are. And so learning to be with that discomfort is a part of the somatic work that I do with people. It's like holding them in a place where we feel things to our window of tolerance, and then we come back in, and then maybe we feel a little bit more, and then we come back in. So if you want any support on this, I'm happy to help you to, if you're like, because I used to be this way. I used to be so afraid that if I let myself feel something painful, that I'd end up depressed in bed, unable to get out of bed. And maybe you can resonate with that. I literally was debilitating fear that I wasn't going to be able to come out of it. And I've met several people recently that have that same thing. Somebody that's going through a divorce. Met her. She came on one of my retreats. She was like, I don't know if I'm going to come back. And I'm like, we're right here with you. I'm right here with you. Like, I know that that's not going to happen to me because I have resources, and I can be a resource for you if that's you. So the point of all of this is to say that ignoring the feelings it's not going to get you what you want. It's going to keep you very stuck. So we have to give this feeling space to just be, to allow it, to bring awareness to it. Like, oh, I'm just kind of feeling heavy today. Instead of going, oh my God, I'm feeling heavy today. What if I always feel this way for the rest of my life? Like, that's what I used to do. Let me know in the comments if that's you. I'm going to share some more videos on this, but the most important thing is to just allow the feeling to be there and to just say, I'm just going to give this a minute. I'm going to feel this for a minute, and then I'm going to move on to the next thing instead of ignoring it completely. All right. Thank you so much. Let me know in the comments.